Senator Elizabeth Warren, she does agree and support this new trade policy. She has said before that, and actually most people have said that it's modest gains, modest improvements. But here she's going to lay out why she is in support of it and why Bernie's wrong.
Senator Warren, you support the USMCA. Why is Senator Sanders wrong?
I do. I wasn't here. I haven't been in Congress long enough to have voted against NAFTA, but I led the fight against the trade deal with Asia and the trade deal with Europe because I didn't think it was in the interests of the American people, the American workers, or environmental interests. But we have farmers here in Iowa who are hurting, and they are hurting because of Donald Trump's initiated trade wars. We have workers who are hurting because the agreements that have already been cut really don't have enforcement on workers' rights. This new trade deal is a modest improvement. Senator Sanders himself has said so. It will give some relief to our farmers. It will give some relief to our workers. I believe we accept that relief. We try to help the people who need help, and we get up the next day and fight for a better trade deal. We need a coherent trade policy. We need a policy that actually helps our workers, our farmers. We need them at the table, not just a trade policy written for big international companies. I'm ready to have that fight, but let's help the people who
Thank you.
need
Senator
help right
Sanders,
now.
can you please respond to Senator Warren?
Well, I think that it is not so easy to put together new trade legislation. If this is passed, I think it will set us back a number of years. Senator Warren is right in saying we need to bring the stakeholders to the table. It is the family farmers here in Iowa and in Vermont and around the country. That is the environmental community. That is the workers. Bottom line here is I am sick and tired of trade agreements negotiated by the CEOs of large corporations
Senator Klobuchar,
behind
I'd like
doors.
to bring you in.
I have to say that I was very happy with Bernie Sanders' response there.
I was surprised.
I was very surprised too, but he went exactly where I wanted him to go in that scenario. When I'm watching, I'm like, oh, that was it. You landed the punch right there, because think about Elizabeth Warren's rationale here. She's saying that, yeah, modest improvements. It's going to give some relief to workers, to farmers, relief that they need, because they're hurting right now. Okay, we understand it. We get that. But she says that go ahead and support this trade deal right now, and then right after that, fight for a better one. And so Bernie Sanders' response is, do you know how hard it is to draft these policies and actually ratify them, actually come to an agreement and approve them? How they come together? It takes a long time. We're talking about years. Trade agreements are just not struck just every couple of months or so. So you're going to do more damage if you sign off on something with modest improvements, but it still hurts more people. You're not changing much here. So you're going to sign off on this. This is going to continue into existence for how many years? We don't know until the next one is approved of. And again, we don't know when that's going to be. So why would you set us back years just by supporting some modest improvements? It doesn't make any sense whatsoever if you are actually on the side of actually improving things.
Well, it's a trade agreement, so doesn't it involve multiple countries?
It does.
Okay. One thing that stuck out to me in her answer is how she kept saying relief for our workers, relief for our workers, our farmers, our workers. But what about the workers in other countries? What about the workers in Mexico? She said she was against other trade deals, right? Right? Well, why was she against those other trade deals?
She didn't explain that.
She kind of did. She kind of hinted at it, but she
didn't explain that in the vein of why she supports this one.
Yes. I have some friends who are from Mexico. Families came over here from Mexico, and they always talk about how the trade deals that the United States struck hurt their families and hurt Mexican farmers all the time. They always talk about that. And so I definitely take issue with kind of her verbiage and how she framed it around our workers. Kind of makes me think about how she was talking about foreign policy, like keep our country safe, keep our country safe. But I was like, if it's a kind of a the military industrial complex is a global apparatus. It wouldn't just be about our country. And so if this is about a trade deal that involves multiple countries, it wouldn't just involve our workers. You see what I'm saying? Like her focus seems to kind of like act as an erasure to certain groups of people that might be affected who wouldn't be considered our workers. You know what I'm saying?
But also,
Or our farmers that we know and farmers that, you know, we can relate to.
but also the environment, which is not just ours. She didn't say anything about that as far as I could tell. She wasn't commenting about what it would do in terms of climate change and exacerbating that nightmare. Didn't respond to that whatsoever, because again, modest improvements. We all know what we all know what that is. Incrementalism. We all know what that is. We don't like it. We want radical change. We know that we don't often get radical change. It often is incremental, but we fight for radical change. You don't just approve of modest improvements that aren't going to really help. People are still going to be hurting. Again, somebody that is supposedly as progressive as Senator Elizabeth Warren is, somebody that is supposedly as strong on the environment and climate change as she is, seems that she would understand this, but in her commentary, she did not.